Let's talk to Philip Brenner. Philip is a professor of international relations at the American University. He's joining us live from Washington, D.C. Good to have you with us, Philip. I guess what surprises a lot of people about this story is why a typically humanitarian organization would secretly help to develop this Zunzuneo.
This is exactly the question people in Congress are asking, and in fact people in the CIA. They're very angry at this, partly because the USAID is not well trained to do this. And this was linked to someone who was a subcontractor, Alan Gross, who is now in prison in Cuba because he was setting up a internet network that this could have been linked to. And
speaking of Alan Gross, Philip, is this going to make his situation much more difficult and for the U.S. to get him out of Cuba, negotiate his freedom? He is in a Cuban jail.
Well, it will make it much more difficult because the United States has claimed he committed no crime. But it's clear now, my own investigation has shown that what Alan Gross, the contract he was working under, was let by under the same terms that Creative Associates received the contract for this operation. And the two were logically connected. Gross was setting up a network that couldn't be detected by the Cubans, and that would then enable people to use the Twitter accounts in order to create flash mobs. And that's exactly what the intention was. Hillary Clinton said in 2011 that the model really is Tunisia and the Arab Spring.
Now, here's the thing, Philip, because a lot of people, and especially in Cuba, would say that there's nothing really new in U.S. efforts to undermine the government there. So is this any different, or what was the U.S. really trying to do here? Was it trying to affect change?
Oh, I think the United States was trying to affect change. The problem is that it's not new, it's just the size of this is very dramatic, and it comes on the heels of a failed effort where Alan Gross wound up in jail, and they were assuring the Congress they weren't going to do any of this kind of thing anymore. And it was fundamentally illegal. They did not have a finding that they would have been required to have it for a covert operation, and the companies involved didn't have a Treasury license.
All right. Thank you very much, Philip Brenner, for joining us from Washington. Good to have you with us.